is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of It's Nothing Personal, Just Buffalo. And the Bills defeated the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis, 30-20, on the back of 4 turnovers from the defense. A little bit of rocky offense we'll talk about tonight. But the most important thing is they found a way to overcome adversity, overcome injuries. They got the win, moving to 8-2. This is the team's best start since 1993. Hey, I must say, much to my surprise, they're 8-2 at this point in time. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I got my co-host in the midweek, James Mallory, the NFL Pedigree. James, what's going on?
Man, I'm excited, man. This is a good night. Bills 8-2, coming off a big win.
Yeah.
I think that was a very big win. You don't want to drop a game to a team like that, a tough, just gritty team.
Yeah.
And also, tonight, I went through my daughter's trick-or-treat bag.
Oh, yeah?
I took some of her candy. If any of y'all tell on me, I'm going to be pissed. But yeah, I took me a gummy lifesaver and took me a Twizzler, So it's a good night. It's a good night, It is what it is.
There got to be a statute of limitations anyway. I mean, it's November 12th now. You're talking about almost 2 weeks now. I mean, if she ain't went through that thing now, she don't really care that much about it anyway, all right? Back in the day, that's where we had cavities. That candy within a week and a half. Not to get too far off topic. You remember when parents used to you check the candy like parents used to check the candy back in the day?
I definitely do. Make sure it ain't yeah. I am one of those.
You still do that?
Yes. Her mom does as well. Both of us. She got it on both, but mom and dad both check the candy.
That is some old school shit there. But yeah.
I'm checking it right now.
I'm
checking it right now.
Yeah, my mom checked a lot of my candy back in the day. But no, let's not get too far off topic. But tonight we got a good show lined up for you. We're going to talk about, obviously, to recap the game just a little bit here. We'll talk about how the defense really aided the offense. Very, very interesting question tonight. That, there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to spice it up a little bit. Who brings more value to the Bills' secondary?
I can't wait for that.
Christian Benford or Taron Johnson? I think that's a very good question that we definitely want to answer. Also, we'll talk about Sean McDermott and the good job he's doing. Is this the best head coaching job, or best coaching performance he's had since he's been in Buffalo? I got some thoughts on this. Then we'll talk about Mack Hollins, and obviously, we got the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs coming to town. So a good portion of the show is going to be it's Chiefs week. Let's get to it, okay? But starting with this game, obviously, the offense started just a little bit slow this game. Well, they didn't really start slow. Well, yeah, they did start slow. They did start slow. And we have International D-Dot on tonight, too, to break down the offense of what he saw. Curtis Samuel was found this week. He's no longer in the milk carton. So we found Curtis this week. We found Dawson Knox. So we got all our missing kids back a little bit here, okay? So,
missing
kids. But no, I thought that it was a very gritty performance, right?
Yes.
And I mean, you talked about how particularly this Bills team is finding different ways to win games. Okay, this is something that I talked about Kansas City last year, about how that team, I didn't think that team was as talented as some of the other teams, but they found ways to win games in different fashions. And I think that's what the Bills are doing now. Obviously, like I said, Josh Allen, two interceptions this game. I thought the interception to Kenny Moore was just a great play. Sometimes the defender makes a better play than the offensive player, okay?
Yeah, he's elite. You got elite players are going to make those plays.
Exactly. A guy that's picked us off multiple times before, I believe, as well, too, okay? And then, obviously, the interception he was trying to throw to Shakir, that EJ Speed guy, it was just underthrown. But outside of that, I thought the Bills played pretty good ball control. The running game was pretty efficient all game. I mean, if you go through the numbers here, James Cook, 19 carries, 80 yards. Josh Allen we actually saw Josh use his legs. I know a lot of people have been talking about that all season. Why isn't he using his legs? I think this was the game that he knew he probably had to use them. And his hand probably feels good enough, too. I think that probably played some type of part into it.
I think a lot of people kind of got away from that because he hasn't missed time, but he did have a hand injury. So we got to keep that in mind.
And he added 8 carries to 50 yards and a touchdown. Him and Cook both had a touchdown. Ray Davis only had 3 carries, 6 yards. But like I said, we'll talk about the offense a little bit more in the show a little later. But no, you didn't miss much, Cindy. We did really just getting going. All right.
Yep.
But yeah, let's talk about this defense, man. Obviously, spearheaded by Taron Johnson's 23-yard interception return. I think it was second play of the game
Yes.
for a
Wait, it
touchdown.
was their first offensive play, if I'm not
Was it
mistaken.
was it was it their first offensive play? Okay,
Yes,
their first
yes, I
offensive play.
believe it was.
So interception return for a touchdown really set the tone for the game. And then you had four more turnovers. I believe it was a Taylor Rapp interception. A Austin Johnson got his second interception of the season. You
How
know,
ironic is that?
listen, don't throw screens around Austin Johnson. He's gonna pick him
He's
off, I guess.
yeah, he gonna grab those.
And the fourth turnover was a Greg Rousseau strip sack, and I forgot
Yes.
I forgot who recovered it. Can't remember who recovered it.
Yeah, recovered. Wait, that's a good one. I'm about to think on that one.
Yeah, I can't remember who recovered it. I'll look it up and see. But no, but overall the defense came.
No,
to,
it was DeMar Hamlin.
Yep, you're right. You're right. DeMar
Yep.
Hamlin, man.
Yep.
Keep making those plays, those stats, man. Building those stats up. You're gonna buy your way out of Buffalo. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, that is.
Fool's gold, we call that. But no, I thought the defense played a hell of a game, and there was points in time where I thought the Colts were going to get momentum going, and our defense stonewalled them.
Yes.
I thought, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were, and we'll talk about with D that too. I thought it was a very egregious fourth down call, 4th and 3 call that the Bills went for it. They could kick the 46-yard field goal. That really gave the Colts some momentum back, and we'll talk about that a little later. But other than that, I thought the defense did a hell of a job. I thought the pass rush was there. We saw Greg Rousseau with the strip sack. We saw AJ Epinesa with another sack. Now, if you know this, Greg Rousseau has, I think, is it 4.5 or 4.5 sacks?
Yes,
5 on the season, and AJ Epinesa has 4.5 sacks on the season. So those guys are doing their job. Still missing Ed Oliver here. We gotta get him going sooner or later. But good thing is, after a very, very strong first half of Jonathan Taylor, the Bills really just kind of stonewalled them in the second half.
Yeah, that was an amazing performance.
Made the adjustments, did what they had to do. Overall, secondary played pretty well. You knew Flacco was going to complete some passes. He's a veteran, okay? You're not just going to completely shut him down a vet like that. But I wanted to get your thoughts on the defense this game.
I love what I've seen out the defense. All three levels played really, really well. What I look deeper into it, right? So I don't look at the surface level. I dig a little bit deeper. I'm like, all right. You looking at what we getting? Like, if you really watch Von Miller did not play bad at all.
No.
Like, that dude played well. So I think about the long haul. You got AJ and Rousseau playing really well, right? You got Von Miller, I think, is playing really well. And then when you look at the interior, Quentin Jefferson came in and he played well, man. Dude played well, right? Look at Austin Johnson. He gets the interception. He's making plays. He's moving around. We need to get Ed Oliver going, but he's too talented of a player to not get going. He's showing that effort. Then you look at the linebackers. They play great. Dorian Williams flying around. I'm happy to see Bernard. I think Bernard is going to play better and better as the season goes on, as he becomes healthier and healthier. But he still played well, right? Then you look at the secondary. I don't think those guys are getting enough credit as a unit for how well they're playing. Yep. We'll get deeper into that as we go, but we have a lot of guys who are considered backups who are getting quality reps, and they're playing really, really, really well. I'm excited about what the defense did. The defense was able to hold us down and win a game, right? And I don't know how many times in the past we would have felt confident with the defense being able to hold us down the way they did. I think it probably would have been a very close game, maybe a last-second field goal to win, if that. We handled business. The offense came through and did make some plays, but the defense is what held us down. I love, love, love how they're playing team defense. I think we'll get into, once again, what I think and how I feel about McDermott, and this is a team he probably would like, where everybody's chipping in. They're legitimately 111th. Do your 111th, right? Yeah. So I really, really feel confident in saying this probably is the most, biggest just weight off his chest he's had since he's been here. And I'm excited to get into that segment later. But the defense balled out, man. They deserve the love they're getting. I was a little bothered by that run fit that DeMar Hamlin missed. You know what I did, JT? I called you as soon as it happened. Um, because what I'm afraid of, teams are going to start to scheme, um, and they're going to attack him.
Yeah.
Wherever his run fit is, they're going to run the expose. They're going to try to expose that because we have a problem with DeMar Hamlin with the run fit right now. I'm not saying he's playing horrible, but that's a problem right now. That's a
Well,
problem.
when you give them a 50, 60-yard runs, that could be game changers.
Yes,
You know,
he and
you gave it one to Brees Hall, you gave the long touchdown to Derrick Henry, and yeah, you just gave it one to him. I listen. I'm not really big in conspiracy theories. I've been around this game a long time, and all I'm saying is there's a trend. Sometimes when you get these big physical backs, somehow we're missing that correct run fit, meeting them in the hole. Okay.
yeah,
But when we play teams like we play teams like Miami and A-Chain and Mostert, we were missing those run fits.
yeah.
Like I said, I ain't really big conspiracy theories, but I've been around this game a long time, and I'm saying it without saying it. There may be some business decisions being made here. Okay.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Hey! Listen, if Daddy want to come for me, he can come for me. He can come for me if he
Listen,
want.
listen. I just uh,
All,
it,
I'm
it,
serious. All I'm saying is I do think that this may be intentional.
you got a point. You got. I mean, you got a legitimate point, and I think that's going to be that. I just hope that's not something that hurts us, because you look at coming into this week, Kareem Hunt, he wrong some buck in his heart, right?
Yeah.
You got to wear you got to wear your big boy cap when you play against him. He
Oh
coming
yeah.
with it, so we'll see, we'll see. That's the only thing I really had to say. Taron Johnson, obviously he's an all pro. He's playing like that, but I love what I seen out the defense. Point blank
Actually,
here.
yeah. Actually, Stevie Franchise asked a good question. He wanted to know what the ranking was for the offense and defense, and I'll actually get that for you because it was something I actually wanted to bring up. Total defense, the Bills are ranked 18th right now, but they've only given up 21 touchdowns. Like I said, remember that's ranked by yards given up. Per yards given up per game. It's not
And don't
necessarily
forget that
kicking.
can be skewed because if you
Right.
whooping teams and they're throwing the ball around the yard, you playing a
Exactly.
softer defense, that
Right.
can skew the stats.
18th in pass defense, and I know run defense. They're ranked
20
15th.
something. Oh,
15th.
okay. I thought we probably after a couple big games, I
Yeah.
thought we probably in the 20s. Okay.
But this is the key. When you look at that with the scoring defense, we're ranked ninth. So it's like I said, I've been saying before, it's almost like going back to that original McDermott defense where it was the bend but don't break
Yep.
defense. And I'm going to give you one more stat here, right? That I find very interesting. Now, out of those 18th ranked 18th in pass defense, ranked 16th or 15th, I think, in run defense, but red zone defense, okay? Red zone defense, we are ranked. I just had it up. I'm sorry, eighth.
Okay.
So, like I said, that's indicative of, hey, once you get past that 20, you're not getting in that end zone, and that also steps up that also steps up too for the run defense as well. Like we see Jonathan Taylor run all the way down the field and getting long runs, but once you get that condensed field within that 20-25 yard line, the Bills are not allowing touchdowns. Okay, so like I said, and obviously without having Micah Hyde and Joe Poyer, these are positions we used to cause a lot of turnovers in.
Yes.
I think we'll be happy to give those field goals at this point in time. And I didn't actually, you know what? I forgot to check the offensive rankings for you. Let me see if I can get that for you really quick.
JT a wizard over here, man.
Yeah, and it was something I was supposed to get before, but I'll get that ranking when we get on the offense. I'll find it for you.
Okay.
Okay. But no, overall, I thought the defense played pretty well, and I was ecstatic. I was actually very pleased with it because we knew going to this game having offensive players out that we need them to play. So I got a good question for you. Who do you find to be more valued to the Bills in the secondary? No right or wrong answer. Both are valuable. I don't want to say neither is valuable. They're both valuable. But I just want to say if viewers too, you can chip in. Who has more value to the Bills secondary? Taron Johnson or Christian Benford? James, what you got?
I'm going with Taron Johnson all day. These are two guys when we drafted them. I called it out on this show, well, on this channel. When Benford was drafted, I said that he would be better than Elam. I said
Yeah,
that.
you did.
When Taron Johnson was drafted out of Weber State, I said he's going to be a baller. Small school corner, he's going to come in here and he's going to be a baller. People was, oh, they said he could be good on special teams and blah, 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 blah. JT, we got receipts.
Oh yeah.
Taron Johnson to me. Reason being, um, I just don't think we have nobody that will bring what he brings to the table.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to he being able to play the run, almost like a linebacker, being able to cover and being able to make cause turnovers and make big plays. He's made so many big plays for us over the think about the Lamar Jackson
Yeah.
interception in the playoffs. Think about the game sealing interception he had against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot
The
of
Jets game this year too.
yes, this guy has made some plays. He's made
Yep.
some big plays for us.
Yep.
So if I got to pick one, I mean they both valuable. And everybody knows I'm saying that right here. I'm still high on Kyer Elam. This is a conversation we'll have. JT and I had this conversation. I am a believer that Kyer Elam and Benford will be our starting cornerback tandem next year. That's my opinion. We'll get more into that, y'all. That's gonna be a good discussion. But
We do it
anyway,
during the bye week. During the bye week for sure.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that'll be a discussion we will have, y'all. Y'all don't want to miss that. Anyway, but Taron Johnson, just what he brings is just you can't match that.
All right. So I've been going back and forth with this all day. I think it's obvious that right now it's probably Taron Johnson, but I'm going to play devil advocate and I'm going to go Christian Benford. Obviously, I think that what Taron brings, you can tell when he's not on that football field.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this is I don't feel as safe when Christian Benford is not on that football field.
It's
Okay,
the opposite for me, JT. I hear you,
I
and I
don't feel
respect
as
it though.
safe because
I respect that.
I feel less comfortable with Taron when he's not in there when we have to play against the run. That do the pass, and I know he makes some really good plays, but I've been said for years. If it's zone, he may be the best nickel cornerback in the league, and you saw that when he picked Joe Flacco off in that first play. But when it's man, I do not put it in the upper echelon nickel cornerbacks. And I've said that for multiple years. When it's man, I do not put it in.
Yeah, we had that debate. We had that debate before they paid him because you
Right.
didn't. Yeah, I thought they should have paid him.
No, right. And I said I'll eat crow on that one. I said not to pay the guy. I said do not pay him, find a replacement. But part of that was not because I didn't think he was a good player, but a big part of it was at the time the salary cap that we had to put on this roster, and B was the injuries. And every year of the missing the 4 to 5 games, and me being afraid that hey, that injury's gonna finally come and he's not gonna be here for the playoffs, and we're completely screwed. Like you said, we don't have anybody to replace him. Luckily, we do have Kyer Elam on this roster to kind of replace Christian Benford if he does go down. But I'd say Christian Benford, and the reason I say it is because Christian Benford is guarding team's number one receiver at this point in time. Yes. And there's just a few numbers I have for you. Just this season alone, Christian Benford, and these are some advanced stats here.
Sorry, my work computer restarted on me.
Well, hey, man, telling you that's
that noise.
That's all.
That's that noise. My bad.
This guy, he's only allowed 197 receiving yards this season. The quarterback rating is 87.6% target him, and is only 7.3 yards an average per air in the air. He has 40 tackles this season. Benford does. He has one missed tackle, 2.4% missed tackle rate.
We need to pay him.
You gonna pay him? Yeah, ain't no doubt. You're going to pay him, and you're going to pay him fairly soon. And we'll talk about that.
What I'm scared of is if we wait too long, JT, how much it's gonna cost. I'm scared.
You won't wait past if they're smart. You won't wait past this offseason.
No, I mean, if we do, JT, I'm scared of what that number is going to be. Oh my goodness!
Well, we'll have
like he's playing better than Sauce Gardner and them type of guys. He really is. You know what I'm saying?
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the corner I had. No. I thought Nate was overrated. I thought Nate was solid, but I thought Nate was overrated to a point. No, he what I mean by it, he reminds me of like an Aeneas Williams back in the day. And I know Neil's I'm not saying as a player because they're two different type of players. What I mean by
He's
is
just a
they're,
baller and quiet under the radar.
very quiet under the radar. There's so many other cornerbacks that you talk about because they have big bravados and big egos and commercials and all this type of things like that that you don't mention him until teams play him. Remember when the Chargers had Quentin Jammer and Antonio Cromartie?
Yep.
You always talked about Antonio Cromartie because he made the big splash. You never ever talked about Quentin Jammer. And I'll even go back to Buffalo when Buffalo had Nate Clements and Antoine Winfield. You always talk about Nate Clements because he'd get the pick, he'd do his little dance, right? But you didn't talk about Antoine Winfield, but Antoine Winfield did all the dirty work.
Yep.
You didn't know how valuable Antoine Winfield was until he left and went to Minnesota. And that reminds me so much of Christian Benford. That he's such an unsung hero that he's not a known commodity around the league.
Yes.
As far as pub media wise, I'm sure that there's offensive coordinators that got him circled on these plays saying, "Hey, listen, we got to be careful. We got to watch this dude."
100%. I mean, anybody that knows ball, I can't even say, like, when people talk about him now, like, I'm not surprised because I knew what it was when we drafted him. I got a phone call as soon as we drafted him, and say, "Yo, that dude is first round talent. That dude he's that dude."
Yeah.
You know, I got a call immediately about him. Somebody that knows him and trained him, trained with him. And said he's that boy. Yeah. And when I heard that, when I said, "Really?" And when that person who told me that say that, hardly ever wrong. So I'm not even surprised that he's balling the way he is.
Major Cole asked question. Oh, sorry, go ahead. So,
no, I was just gonna say, and then for that, like, do you think we try to break the bank?
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume when he says break the bank, he means like, listen, this cornerback's getting paid this. They're in the top 5. I want this amount of money. I want to be paid $1 more than this person. I don't think so.
Me neither.
I don't think so. I think this is a guy who was what he was 6th round pick.
Yes.
He doesn't make peanuts. Okay, he makes really good money to play a sport, but he makes peanuts compared to his peers at his level. Okay, I think this guy'd be happy with literally if you can give him somewhere in the wheelhouse of top corners getting paid $20 million, $21 million per year. I think a modest number, a fair number would be $15, $16 million per year. If it's over a contract over 4 to 5 years, let's say you give him 5 for 65, 5 for 70, maybe guarantee like 45 of it. I think the big number's gonna come down to the guaranteed money.
Yeah, I just don't think he would pass that up. But you know what I think is going to be important with that is he'll probably look at who else you're paying, right? If you're gonna leave him on and it's a little different in the cornerbacks in our system, and I don't want to take nothing away from them. Like, these guys aren't the ones shadowing people, and like, okay, you following you trailing that number 1 guy the whole game. Can we do that from time to time? Yes, but that's not his primary job. Like, man up, lock on him, right? Mm-hmm. We playing a lot of zone, so it's not, once again, not to take nothing away from him. I think he is elite. The way he's playing, he's elite right now. It's safe to say 100%. He is elite. I don't think you could find 8 cornerbacks in the league better than him, in my opinion. That's just flat out better. So I think he would take. I was thinking $15 million a year to offer. If he asked for 20, I wouldn't pay that. I honestly, I wouldn't. It's just my opinion. And cornerbacks, period. I don't think it's a corner in the league I'll pay $20 million to if I'm the Bills. That's just my opinion.
I got this feeling. I don't think it's going to go that far. I think they're going to get a deal done in the offseason. I think it'll be fair for him, fair for them. Because I don't think he's going to want change, personally. Doesn't strike me as the guy that wants change. Terrell 4 asks, what kind of impact y'all think Milano will have? Not playing game over 400 days. Will he do more than Dorian Williams? It's a good question. We won't know until we know, really. I think my worry is the running game at first, but he's going to add so much more to that to us attacking the passing game.
Yeah, me and Rel was just talking about this earlier too on the phone. That is a long time off. Let's be real here. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to adjust.
Which is probably why they opened this practice window now.
Yep. And I wonder if they will sprinkle if they'll sprinkle him in at first. They might just say, "Hey, go play ball." Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see how they're gonna use him. But I think he's gonna have an impact. Me personally.
I think they're gonna tell him to go play ball.
Yeah.
Just remember, I said this: very, very, very good. If he can stay healthy and everybody stays healthy, if you see Baltimore again in the playoffs, you have a 3 linebacker set that you tried to run earlier with Nicholas Morrow, but now you're subbing Dorian Williams back in. Very, 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 very big difference there. Okay. But yeah, I want to talk about the job that Sean McDermott is doing, man. Obviously, this team is 8-2. He just passed. I forgot who he passed. I think he has the most wins in his first 9 years, something like that in the NFL. He hit number 80. This is gonna be number 80 last week. This is gonna be number 81. But Major Cole says he's like Christian Benford. He just don't like that jersey number. I think the 47 cold, man. It's no different. Something colder. You gotta be a confident dude to wear number 47.
No, what happens is when you're a 5th-round draft pick, 6th-round draft pick, you get the leftover numbers. So he probably said, "I'm rocking with it."
Yeah. Like I said, I see your question, Andrew. I'll get to that. I'll make sure we get to that right after this segment. It's a very, very good question about Groot's contract. Do you think that he's at the top of his game right now, Sean McDermott?
Absolutely. I think he's one of them guys that work better, in my opinion, without the star ego guy, right? I don't think he'll ever do well with and I don't want to say this because we did well with Stephon Diggs. I think he works better with the guys. It's like, listen, let's get down and dirty. Not that Diggs didn't, but the 111th type of mentality.
Yeah.
Do my 111th. Like, that's why that everybody eats mentality in the wide receiver room. That's why a lot of people was worried about it last week. I wasn't, because I'm thinking about, okay, if this is truly an everybody eats mentality, this shouldn't be an issue of these 2 receivers missing. One is one that just came over a few weeks ago in the trade, and 2 is I like the thumbs up, and 2 is a rookie.
Wait a minute. Why do you always get the thumbs up? Every week someone give you I haven't got a thumbs up yet ever. You get balloons, you get thumbs up, get jack shit here. Go keep going, man.
All right. Yo, you a fool, JT. But no, but he's a 111th guy. Like, then I'm looking, when I looked at the receivers, I'm like, everybody's concerned. I'm like, why? If you understand what this offense is about, it's not about that. A rookie and then a guy has only been here for 2-3 weeks. If we lose because of the wide receivers and those are guys we lost because, we damn sure not close enough to not that close to being a Super Bowl team. We should be able to hold it down for 1 game, 2 games without those guys. Period. That's just my opinion. If it's an everybody eat mentality. And Shakir's playing. And then I did mention Hollins last week, who came up big. But I think he's at the top of his game right now. And a lot of Bills fans who call for him being fired, you should be fired. Because that was ridiculous from Jump Street. I never, ever, ever thought in my mind he was on anybody's hot seat or in my mind that they should fire him because he's one of the top coaches in the NFL, period.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm right with you. Like I said, I'm a McDermott believer, man. I'd say yeah. And the reason I say yeah, he's at the top of his game is I think what it is not only is he molding this team in his image, but you got to realize he's molding a young offensive coordinator. He's also molding a defensive coordinator in his image.
Yes.
And I think I see like a renewed passion. Like, not for nothing, he had not in Leslie Frazier, but he definitely had an OC in the past that went against him. Okay, and that's very difficult as a head coach when you have an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator that goes against you. Like I said, not Leslie Frazier, but he had an OC that went against him. And I think he felt like even with the Ken Dorsey era, or short era was, he didn't have control. The controller was in the hands of the players. Now he has that full spectrum of control. Like when he fired Ken Dorsey, like I said last year, that was him saying, like, listen, I'm taking control now. Okay? I'm flying this plane. I will tell you how we're going to do it and where we're going. And I said last year, once he did it, we will reap the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. No one wants to be, think about it, be at your job. You don't want to be a manager and be looking over your shoulder to see who's trying to stab you in the back.
Yep.
It's very difficult to do your job. So I don't think he has that right now. He got two young, energetic coordinators, and he's really molded them. And I think that's renewed passion for all of them. And Bobby Babbitt's second half adjustments, that's going to eventually get him a head coaching job. His second half adjustments. Okay?
He's going to get some interviews this offseason, in my opinion.
110% is going to start. The interviews will start. I don't think he'll get anything yet, but the interviews are going to start because they want to see what makes him tick. Okay? But yeah, I say this is the best coaching job since he did in Buffalo, outside of the first Tyrod Taylor year, the 10-6 year. Just say the broken drought, because everything else was like, we've been going through the motions. I thought this was going into the season was the most unknown team. You don't have Micah Hyde, you don't have Jordan Poyer, you don't have Stephon Diggs. You got a new center. A new guard, you know what I mean? You don't know what Von Miller's health is. Matt Milano goes down in training camp. Yep. There's no way he can't say this is his best. This is the best coaching job right here.
Yeah,
they're 8-2. 8-2. That's since '93.
Let this sink in, JT. We could literally clinch. It won't even be December, and we could have. Matter of fact, we could clinch it by Thanksgiving, technically.
Gobble gobble.
If we win this week, we got to bye a week, and then we win. Like, yo, we can clinch that's crazy when you think about it. Yeah. That's really crazy.
It is.
So, it is. I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job. Period.
You know what? Cindy makes a good point. She's always on point. I did read that this week too. A lot of chatter about the Saints possibly going after Joe Brady. I did read that. 100%. I did see it. You're 100% right on that, Cindy. I saw that as well. Ray Cruz says, why not bring Bellamy as an advisor? Well, he's at UCLA right now. He's offensive coordinator with Deshaun Foster over at UCLA. Ray Cruz also says, Kirsten and JR are not comfortable yet with each other looks. I'd say I agree with that. It's getting there. It looked better this week. He's no longer in the milk carton either. We found him.
And just don't forget, everybody, Curtis Samuel missed a lot of time with injury from camp to now. He missed quite a bit of time, too.
I ain't gonna say that, but he missed a lot of injury time in his career. But you didn't hear that from me. Just saying. Andrew, I wanted to go back to this question. You guys were talking about Christian Benford. What would you guys offer Groot? So we've actually had this conversation, and I think that Groot will probably be extended towards camp next season. And my thinking is that you're probably going to shift that salary cap you've had for Von Miller around that 20 to 23 million over to him. And if you look at the highest paid defensive ends, and they'll use the comparisons, it doesn't help the Bills the fact that Montez Sweat gets 24.5 million, Myles Garrett gets 25 million. That right there alone, like, not the Myles Garrett side, but the Montez Sweat side and the Neil Hunter side give you 24.5. Rashawn Gary getting 24 million. That does give Groot the.
Gary is getting how much?
Gary gets 24 million a year. So that gives Groot the asking power of leverage to say, hey, listen, look at my production. So if you had to ask me right now, I would say something around the lines of 20 to 23 million per year. So if you put that in a 5-year spectrum, you probably talk about somewhere like 5 years, 97 million, 98.5 million, somewhere around there. And I'd probably say about 50 million guaranteed.
I think where the Bills going to draw a higher line at 20 to 22 is the sack numbers, depending on the sack number.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, but the thing about it is, even if you draw the hard line with the sack numbers, you have to take in effect the run stops.
Yeah, I was going to say he's elite against the run.
I mean, that it's like he's probably going to hit, if he doesn't get hurt, he's probably going to hit double-digit sacks, Miley.
No, if he do, you can, then you talking 22 to 24, in my opinion.
Right. So, yeah, if I had to guess, I'm going to fall in line about that 20 to 23 million. I think you're going to shift the Von Miller money right over there, and it kind of keeps.
And I don't mind it. I think we have to, because there's not many elite defensive ends right now, like truly elite.
Not at all. So, moving on. This is a section of the show where we talk about the offense. We bring D-Dot in, and D-Dot is here to talk about the Bills' offense. And D-Dot, the Bills overcame some injuries and turnovers in the first half. Very, very questionable 4-for-3 call that I almost lost my cool over on that one. But what did you see from the offense? What did they do to the Colts? And how did they overcome the injuries along with the shortcomings to get a dub in another 30-point game. Oh, you're on mute.
My bad, fellas. My
There
fault.
you go.
Hear me now, right? We
Got
good?
you.
You
Got
good?
you. Yeah, you're here.
All
You're
right,
here.
cool. My bad, my fault. So listen, I like how the Bills came out starting out, trying to get the ball, trying to get Samuel spinning a bit, hitting him out there to the boundary, getting the ball in his hands. I think it was just a simple hitch or a curl or something like that. They hit him with first pass, I believe. And then I kind of looked at them wanting to possibly open up the middle of that football field a little bit too for Kincaid to operate maybe a little bit more, maybe even get Knox involved, so he wouldn't be on the milk carton again, right? So I like the approach, just to start out. We know how their front is, their stout front man with Buckner, um, and those guys up there, man. I think the weakness was the linebacker. So I like them trying to open it up a little bit to the boundary and attack that middle just a little bit. And then we saw, of course, Kincaid get a little bit involved. Um, I'm a little concerned about Josh missing layups though. To be
Yeah.
real with you.
Yeah.
And I say concern not from a sense that I don't think that he could get it spinning. But I say it's more so concerned because he missed Kincaid again on that double move, that out and up. Um, that was something that stood out to me, man. I was like, yo, that is wide open. You got to put that ball on him, man. Point blank is simple. You can't miss those. The pick also to Shakir, another concern. Because the ball came out flat. If you look at the trajectory of the football, it looked like Shakir would have had to try to scoop that off of the turf. And of course, it's a little bit hard to be able to tell with the angle, the sideline angle, but that was in league that's wide open. You know what I mean? That's wide open. And Josh short armed that, man, and I'm just like, mm, you know, um, and Luke, not having weapons or what have you, that's cool and all, but you just got to hit those, man. I'm sorry, you just got to.
Yeah.
So, what, 22 for 37, which is 59%, two picks, no TDs. He had his Superman moments, of course. But it's about making the unspectacular plays more consistently. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that has been a concern with Josh is being able to make those consistent, unspectacucular plays which are really the backbreakers. You know what I mean? Those broken coverages and things like that, man. So I like the game plan. I honestly think this is just a down game from Josh. And I hope that we get the weapons back ASAP. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it real.
And we got to talk about that. We're going to this Chiefs game. But we got a question. I think it's a really good question. Are you guys concerned about the penalties on the O line?
Yes.
Deion Dawkins has what, is it like 10 ball starts this season?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
man.
tighten that up.
Yeah, most definitely. Those me and Mount talk about that all the time. Those are drive stallers. You got some momentum. You got a 5-yard penalty, man. We all know, all three of us know, and possibly and likely the viewers on here tonight, man, that there's a huge difference between a 3rd and 4 and a 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
Huge difference. Your playbook opens up, man. Me, James and I talk ball. JT, I've talked some ball with you as well. We'll talk about if we talk about the options that we have at a 3rd and 4. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes will get huge. You know what I mean? But a 3rd and 9, man, that chops away a lot of your playbook, man. So definitely a concern. And it's focus stuff too. You know what I mean? It's not effort stuff. It's focus stuff.
Um, what did you see from the running game? I thought the running game was pretty successful this week. What did you see?
Running game was solid, man.
And James, I'll
I
come to you
love
after that.
love the running game. Honestly, I'm actually going to concede to James with this because with the front and the reads that you guys got to take, from that running back position, man. I loved it, but I'm sure he'll be able to expound on that a little bit better.
Second level cuts. What James Cook was doing was making the linebackers pay for being over aggressive. What I do is I teach my running backs. Your eyes got to go to level 1 to level 2 immediately. And that's what's gonna make you elite. Because wherever the linebackers go, they're going. Especially if you get a team that the linebackers play super aggressive. if your eyes can go from level 1 to level 2 like that, and you understand where you're going, that's exactly what James Cook was doing. That's why he was so successful, right?
Mhm.
If I'm getting the ball, boom, I'm reading the head of the D tackle to the middle linebacker to that Mike, right? So they usually call out the Mike, right? So you understand, people know when they call out the Mike, that's the Mike linebacker. It's accounting for passing game, counting him as in regards to the line call.
Mhm.
So as I'm looking at that level, and that's why if you see the cut, he'll make a move, boom, and then as he's working his way through the line of scrimmage because he's reading those linebackers, then that's elite. Like a lot of guys just reading and just go straight. Like he's reading that second level, and that's what's making him so efficient and so it was so special this week. Ray Davis doesn't have that just yet. Not saying he does, but he's a rookie, and that's why he had 3 carries for 6 yards. They knew that, right? When you got a guy going like James Cook, you feed him. You don't give Ray Davis carries just to give Davis carries.
Yeah.
If he has it going, Ray Davis is gonna have a game of 3 or 4 carries. That's just what it is, right? I guarantee you, Ty Johnson would have probably been able to be. He probably
Yeah.
would have been the better second option in
Very
a game
underrated.
like this,
Very
right?
underrated.
Yes, because that defense is good over there. Like we just
Oh
played
yes.
a really good defense. Like DeForest Buckner and big
Grover
boy, what's his
Stewart.
name?
Grover Stewart.
Grover Stewart. Them dudes can play some ball, man. Now you talking about 2 dudes up front that get at it. Them 2 dudes get at it, right? Then you talking about a linebacker who's top notch. So you talking about the triangle, that triangle in your defense. You're talking about your middle linebacker, your 2 D tackles. Them dudes are ballers. So if you got to run it, the best thing what they want is a guy that's a one read guy. Boom, get it and go. They would love to play against a one read guy. But when you got somebody like James Cook who can read the second level at a really high level, or which I consider second level the linebackers. Third level is the safeties and DBs. So you got somebody who can read that at an elite level like he's been doing. The last 2 years, James Cook's been doing that. That's why he was working. He was just slaughtering them because you just couldn't fit it up.
Yeah. Another guy I want to talk about in his offense is our last offensive topic of the night is Mack Hollins. This is a guy that I know some people said they didn't understand why he was here in Buffalo and blah 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 what was his role. And I said when we got him, this is a very good move because he'd be able to play your fourth receiver. He'd be a red zone target, and he's going to give you elite special teams play.
Mhm.
And he's given the Bills all 3 of those things.
Yep.
Just want to say these are the numbers for Mack Hollins so far this season. Maybe they're not there anymore. Okay. Well, I thought I put them
JT. So what I want you to do, you gonna give Mack Hollins numbers, right?
in.
And I'm gonna just make a quick comparison as you get after you give them give those numbers. So I'm
Yep.
with you.
I gotta go find them again. I did have them. I had them up earlier in this chat, but I believe it's like 197 yards receiving. I know it's 3 touchdowns. And I believe I had it compared to Gabe Davis numbers.
Yes,
And
that's what I'm doing. As you read each one off, I'm gonna compare it. That's
yeah,
what we're doing.
off the top of my head, I believe Gabe Davis has 226. Off the top of my head, 226, 39 catches on 59 targets.
Are you ready for Gabe Davis stats?
Yeah, good.
He has 19 catches,
19. Okay, well, that was modest.
236 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
He's averaging 12 yards a catch.
yeah. And Mack Hollins has what?
Mack Hollins, you got that one, or you want me? I can get it right here.
You do the honors.
All right. So Mack Hollins, his stats. Give me a second. He has 16 catches, 197. He's averaging 12.3 yards a catch with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. No. Just saying. Hey, just saying. Like I said, I'm happy to have him here. I think that there's a very important role for a guy that has no problem going out there covering kicks, playing, continuing to make plays in the red zone. Somehow he always finds himself to be open, and then readily a willing blocker when you put him in to run the football. That's one of the biggest differences in the run game this year is him and Keon Coleman together being willing blockers. Okay, so just saying, end of the day, I'm happy with him. What are you seeing from
Yikes! Oh,
D-Dot?
that comment made me
Yeah.
jump.
Listen,
Well,
man.
he,
Listen,
well, he,
I
no, no, he, no,
I saw that
he's
come
right.
up.
Wait a minute,
No. I'm seeing right here. Andrew put not you, JT.
no,
I
he's
like
right
Hollins,
though.
but
He's right. The numbers say he does remind you of Gabe Davis.
as a
The,
player, heck no.
no, I don't know. I mean,
No.
only thing Gabe,
They got
only thing
they got two completely different styles. They're not remote. If you watch Gabe Davis film and you watch his film, if you say they the same, I got to question your football
they're
knowledge.
not the same. I mean, they're not. I don't
They're
think
not similar.
they're not the same. But the problem is when we're talking about comparing those two, the problem is Mack Hollins supposed to be here, and Gabe Davis is supposed to be here. When we're comparing them here, that's a real bad knock on Gabe Davis, and that's actually why we say that Matt Collins is underrated.
100%. I think we all can agree there.
Yeah, I agree.
I just have to say before I hand over to D Dot, my brother Rel, who just commented, he told me when we first signed him all about him. He's like, "Yo, this dude can play."
Oh yeah,
I didn't know much about him. I'm not gonna lie. Rel, the one who schooled me on him. I didn't know much about him.
yeah. I watched
think
him
it was
every
Atlanta.
single. Atlanta, I watched him in Atlanta, Oakland, and Miami. I watched him all three stops. I'm like, wow, this dude is he's a go get it guy.
I didn't know much about him, man. I'm happy we got him though.
Yeah. D Dot, what are you seeing from him?
Man, I've got the note on Hollins here, man. It's the only note for him. I mean, well, he went 4 receptions for 86 yards. But the note that I got on him is he has a knack for finding the holes in the defense.
Yeah.
This guy, he's not gonna be a man beater, man. He's not gonna be a man beater. He's not gonna be the guy that you're gonna run some crossers and everything like that. He's gonna outrun guys. He's gonna be a guy who knows how to throttle down in that defense, and he knows how to find that hole right there, man. And he's gonna secure that football. I'll tell you that dang on much right now.
Yeah.
There were a couple of hole shots that Josh hit him with. They call them honey shots or hole shots, whichever one you want to call it. And you could tell Josh put that football there, and that's tricky because you have to be able to pace yourself within the defense, also make yourself available, but also stay athletic. You know what I mean? And if Rel is on here, he knows what I'm talking about. But being able to do that, man, that's difficult. You know what I mean? That's super, super, super difficult, and it takes a lot of feel and also a lot of chemistry with your quarterback as well. But I love Hollins, man. I love what he brings to the table. I think, of course, before we got Coop, I think the Bills were relying on him a little bit much, just from a rep standpoint. Well, what they were expecting him to do, or asking him to do, not expecting him, asking him to do. But I think with the role that he's in right now, man, being able to come in and be a change of pace type guy, I love it. I love it, especially with the zone defenses. I think that that defenses are going to throw at the Bills, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I go back to I just think that his versatility is being underrated. I think that people don't understand the player that he is. I think when people see that a receiver comes into play, comes into town that you're expecting, you instantly want to see 600 yards, 50 catches, some touchdowns. And not saying Mack Hollins can do that because actually a couple seasons ago he did have 600 yards receiving in the season, 657 to be exact. I believe that was with the Raiders when he had to come in and be a full-time starter. What we thought we were going to get from Trent Sherfield last year,
Yep.
He's giving everything and more.
Yep.
Okay. He's the reason that these injuries to Keon. Well, let's start back at the beginning of the season. That us having to wait for development of Keon Coleman didn't necessarily kill us. The injury to Curtis Samuel didn't necessarily kill us. The injury now to Amari Cooper, the Dawson Knox being on the milk carton missing. He's covering up a lot of different holes for us, which is why things haven't been as bad as they could have been. Now,
JT, I'm sorry. Whenever finish your thought, I got a question for you.
Now, mind you, if he's setting the world on fire, no, but he's making right plays at the right time. That's all we can ask.
It's called championship football.
That's it. What do you got?
Listen, what do you think about this, man? Like what we expected from Sherfield, And what we got from Kumaro is like it's two of them as a love child.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody could create a love child between Kumaro and what they expected from Sherfield, not what we got, but what they expected, that is Mack Hollins.
110%. 110%. And honestly, you could even if you want to be a little bit extra with it, you could even throw in what you thought you would get in the red zone, kind of from Duke Williams.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on that Duke Williams. That.
but hey, other than that, I mean, like I said, I want to move on to this Chiefs game because we got to get off the air here pretty soon. We'll be over an hour, but plain and simple, do we think that the Bills can hand KC their first loss of the season? D-Dot? Thanks to James. I'll go you first, James.
First, I'm hot. All right. Not only do I think we can give them their first loss, I think it could be a blowout.
I got you, Andrew.
I really think that we can. I think it could potentially be a blowout. They're giving me the Steelers that Ben Roethlisberger year vibes. That team for whatever reason, I just don't. Okay. They don't scare me because I think the Bills bought that Chiefs life this year in the postseason. I really don't. To be honest with you, whatever happens in this game means nothing for both teams. Let me throw that out there. Whoever wins, this does nothing for if we see them in the divisional round or the AFC Championship. It does nothing. I definitely think so. They don't scare me. I think it's more than possible. I think the Bills probably will be. I don't know what the line is or whatnot right now. The Bills probably like a 3-point favorite in my opinion. That's what probably the line probably be set around 3 points.
What do you got, D-Dot?
I definitely think they could beat the Chiefs. Like James just alluded to, they don't scare me. I mean, it's to be honest with you, I'm kind of perturbed about how the media doesn't. Of course he's the golden boy, but they're not talking about how poorly Patrick Mahomes is playing. He's playing poorly. He's making bad decisions with the football. To be honest with you. And he's just not the Patrick Mahomes that we're used to. You know what I mean? And everybody has a down year. I get it. Not everybody is going to, perform optimally every single year. But it's to a point where it's like with the team makeup that they have, they don't scare me, man. From their pass rush aside from Chris Jones, from their pass rush, even with Karlaftis being there, I think he's still active. Even to their secondary, man, losing L'Jarius Sneed. I don't see it. I think the Bills come out and with them being physical too, with those three guys toting that rock. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough for me to say they'll give them a go.
I'd say that they can. I don't know if they will, and that brings me to my next question. Because they could handle their first loss, right? We have Kincaid injured. We have Amari Cooper injured. We have Keon Coleman, who already ruled out. You got Matt Milano's practice window opening. I'm pretty sure he's not playing. I'm pretty sure he's just opening the window. If there's players banged up, should the Bills push these guys to play in this game to try to get this W going into the bye week, or should you play the long play? And you know what? We're going to let all the other guys get rested up to make this just run right after the bye week. James?
No. Should you rest them? Yes. Well, should you play them? No. Should you rest them? Yes. If they're not healthy, rest them. Like, once again, if you lose, you got so much of a lead in the division, you can afford the rest of these guys, because if you can rest them this week and during that bye week, you come into that after the bye very healthy. You don't want anybody to have any setbacks or anything like that. You don't want to put too much into this game. It is 1 of 17, one that you want to win, just like 1 of 17. And I think you got more than enough firepower to go out there and win with the guys that we have healthy. So go ahead and take care of business. And just, if they're not 100%, rest them, period.
D-Dot.
I'm along the same lines. Rest them. You want to make sure that your team is peaking at the right time. You know what I mean? Peaking at this point in time playing good ball, yes, but peaking at this time, you know what I mean? You come into playoff time, that's when, you know what I mean, you see a whole bunch of teams, they run out of gas.
Mhm.
So let you guys get healthy. Going to that bye week, how we're talking about, that's essentially 2 weeks of rest, 2 weeks more of rest and recovery, and then strong, go back into the season strong for that home stretch.
Okay, so I would say Keon Coleman obviously out. Um, Kincaid, I would say no. You don't play Kincaid on the leg. You let that heal. Whatever he did to his knee, you let that get completely healed. You don't want that to linger. You need him. Plus, you playing Dawson Knox that $14 million. Like, listen, you got to come up off that milk carton and play.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. Just
Mm-hmm.
play your period. Amari Cooper, I would say, probably needs to play in this game. He sat out last week. And the reason I say that is because you want to get you're still trying to get comfortable.
He missed 2 games, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he signed for it. He needs to get those reps in with Josh and get more comfortable so we can face this team in the playoffs. Now, if it happens, if he doesn't play and Kincaid doesn't play, I'll be honest with you. And Keon Coleman, it's not necessarily the worst thing, win or lose. And the reason I said it because if you meet with them again, they've played you with depleted. They have not faced you with those guys.
Yep.
That's a big difference in a playoff game. If we shall meet up with them, a very big difference. Just like playing the Ravens again. Okay, we did not have Amari Cooper. That's a big difference, a very big difference. So, I would say rest them. Except for Amari Cooper, I think Amari Cooper does need to play in this game. Other than that, I think too much. I'll say. I got this question too, and then we'll wrap it up. Do you guys think Josh Allen needs this win for his MVP bid?
Ooh, that's a good question, JT. That's a
What do
good
you got?
question. Um, I think he does. I would say yes. I would say yes. And this win in a big performance. You can't come out here, win the game like last week, win the game, have 280 and two picks and no touchdowns. You got to come out here and have 300. Or I ain't gonna say 300. You got to come out here. You got to have 275 plus and 3 touchdowns to say I'm that boy. That's my year. That's my opinion.
Yeah. D dot.
I don't think he needs to win. I think he needs to perform very well though.
Okay.
If they lose, if they wind up losing again, well, losing to the Chiefs rather, it'll be the mantra of, or do the Chiefs have the Bills number, yada 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 yada. But it will be, this is another classic type deal, Clash of the Titans deal. This is a preview of the playoffs. But if Josh Allen plays well, I think that he could still be good for his MVP bid. I don't think they'll have to take the dub though.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say he need, like I said, I'm with you. I'm gonna go on the limb and say he needs to win.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because your main opponent for MVP right now seems to be Lamar Jackson, right?
Yep.
And what's hurting Lamar Jackson's MVP resume is that he has now has Derrick Henry. Even though he's playing out of his mind, it doesn't matter. You got Derrick Henry. This is quote unquote why you're playing out of your mind. I don't agree with it, but that's just what the media says. The reason I say he needs to win is because Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, they did what? They lost to Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs. If you beat him, that adds another etch on your resume to say, hey, listen, this guy over here, he didn't get the job done. And I know he personally beat me, but he didn't get the job done versus these guys. And I beat him in the playoffs before. So I would say he does need to win, and he does need to perform well. And I think even if the Bills win, even if he doesn't perform the best, like let's say the Bills win by field goal, and Josh was, I don't know, 21 of 34 for 202 and a touchdown, but he really turned the ball over. That's a win. It's a win. You won, and you didn't perform like complete trash. I think that adds some notch on his MVP resume. And personally, I feel like the NFL was always a business first when it comes down to marketing and money. Lamar Jackson's had MVP. Patrick Mahomes had MVP. You want to give an MVP to Josh Allen because you want that revenue. Let's just be real. Bills Mafia brings revenue. It's been proven. You want him to have it. You want him to pull that trophy. It adds a whole nother different match of resumes, but he needs to do it. So I'm gonna say yes. So other than that, I'm not gonna put you guys on the spot for a score prediction because honestly, we really don't know. We don't know who's playing, who's not playing. It's I think at this point in time, it's just
I mean, well, I
really
think we got a good idea of the foundation of who gonna be there for the Bills, right? I think we got a really good foundation. We know the
what.
maybes. If it's a maybe to me, it's a no. That's my mindset,
Yeah,
right? It's a no. Like Kincaid, no.
yeah.
We know Coleman's out. I'd be surprised if Cooper doesn't play. Um, you know what I'm saying? So I think we got a good foundation on who's playing. If you don't mind, I'm gonna give my prediction. I'm going
Go ahead.
27-17 Bills.
All right, D dot, you got one?
I'm gonna go with super tight game, 31-30 Bills.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna assume. I'm going on a limb, assuming that Amari Cooper is playing. If that's the case, then I'm gonna go 2017 Bills. This one.
That close?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be low scoring. I
Okay.
don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a shootout by any means. I don't think the Chiefs would even last in a shootout. I think they're slow. To be honest with you, I don't think they're a shootout. I don't think their offense is built for shootouts right now. Spencer Brown, was he hurt? Yeah, he twisted his ankle. I think he was fine. I don't think that they. I think he came right back. He walked it off. There was a question I wanted you to get to. Andrew wanted to know about your opinion on the Gabe and Hollins. He just kind of wanted to get a little bit more in depth on that, and then we'll get off air.
In regards to
Gabe Davis and Mack Hollins. Like, what differences do you see? I guess he wants to know.
well, Gabe Davis is. I hate to say it like this. He has more of the diva in him. Not that he won't get down and dirty. I mean, he'll run routes. Um, but we talking about the guy that's gonna come across the middle, guys who gonna do the dirty work, guy who doesn't mind blocking at all. And I'm not saying Gabe Davis won't do this, but these are the things that we were missing when Gabe Davis was on the field, right? Gabe Davis won multiple games with 0-0. If you're a basketball guy, we call it the Tony Snell stats. Played the whole game and didn't register a stat.
Yeah.
He did that multiple times in the Bills uniform. Mack Hollins going to give us something, right? Only thing I think they're really similar in to me is like
Run
they're
block,
both bigger receivers
run blocking, probably. I'd say because Gabe Davis definitely did this job on.
for the most part. Yes,
Yeah,
there was
he did.
times when it wasn't good.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, but he would not saying he wouldn't, but in regards to um routes and all of that, I don't think it's a big a difference as people may seem or think it is. Um, but I do think that Gabe Davis was better, maybe as a deep threat. Not maybe he was a better deep threat.
That maybe answers Doug's question, which one is faster. So
Yeah, I think he was open, but then again, it's hard to say because Mack Hollins may be better because Gabe Davis was on the field 97% of the time. Mack Hollins isn't. He's not getting no save opportunities. So if we did, is he a better deep threat? We
uh,
don't know, right? It's
actually,
just that Gabe Davis has so many more opportunities.
I got a good nice stat for you. Mac Hollins is playing 66% of the snaps this season on offense and 32% of snaps on special teams. Just had that. I was supposed to say that.
That's special. People don't realize how, dude, you playing majority of the offensive snaps, then you running down there on special teams.
Yeah.
That's what's
I
up.
meant to mention that earlier, but I lost my notes there. I said I won't say it again. But I mean, Chiefs week, big game, big show. Let's see. I mean, if I would also say this too. I'll add to this. If the Chiefs would have lost that game to Denver the other day, where they got lucky and blocked that field, well, they didn't get lucky. They blocked the field goal. Um, and they coming in 9-1. I would say that you may push these guys to play because now you're talking about being, actually taking over number one seed. With being 2 games behind, Chiefs having a softer schedule at the end of the season. it may not be worth it. Like I said, I'll say this too with the Bills and Chiefs. There is no home game. Doesn't matter if that game is played in Buffalo. It doesn't matter if that game is played in KC. It could be played in Hawaii if you want. It does not matter to either team. You've seen each other way too many times. You've made that travel way too many times. No one cares about home or away no more. The fans don't affect neither one of those teams. Just saying. It doesn't matter. Actually, I think that each team that goes on the road plays better because you want to stick it to the fan base.
I agree.
That's calling you all type of names.
Yeah, just like you said, JC. I don't think that's the thing no more. But I would really love for the Bills to get the number 1 seed. I think they got a more realistic chance than what people think.
But I will say this: that home game does matter when you're talking about possibly Cincinnati. It matters when you're talking about Pittsburgh. It matters when you're talking about Baltimore. Those teams. That home game doesn't matter. The Bills and Chiefs doesn't matter anymore. But those teams, 110% that matters. So that's why you all have to consider that with this game. I will throw this stat in there too. The Pittsburgh has not played any divisional games yet. They have not played the Ravens, and they have not played the Bengals, and they have not played the Browns.
Yes,
so
that's odd.
Somebody's behind you, gotta lose. Whether it's Baltimore or Pittsburgh, and they're gonna beat up on each other. So just saying. But other than that, guys, any final thoughts, James? Actually, we go deep dive first. Final thoughts?
No, man, just excited for this upcoming week. Man, ready to see Bills Mafia ball out. You know what I mean? And man, just looking forward to a real good game, competitive game, man. That's it.
Mal,
Bills, they gonna come with it. They gonna play physical. I think they're gonna show up. I think they're gonna show out. I'm expecting a really, really strong performance from the Bills. I really am.
Yeah. Hey, I got nothing. You guys said it all. Come out, just let us be, but don't put too much into this game and just enjoy a good football game. Like I said, we've been saying for years, this is a new Brady Manning. Hopefully we can be more Brady-ish in this matchup moving forward, but this is a new Brady Manning, Allen, and Mahomes. Enjoy it. Like I said, it's a wonderful matchup to watch. Wonderful matchup to watch. And it's going to be two guys that are going to be undoubtedly going to be wearing gold jackets. Okay? And they're going to be, and they may be linked in history forever like Kelly Marino.
100%.
So enjoy it. Hopefully the Bills get this win. It'd be nice. If not, guess what? We go into the bye week 8-3, and we're going to be coming out that bye week a lot healthier than we went in it. Watch out. So, on that, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. It was another great show. Thanks, guys, for joining me tonight, and we'll catch you guys same place, same time next week. Peace.